Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. I'm so glad that you're here. I'm so glad you clicked on this video, and today we're going to talk about a time I failed. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why are we talking about this? It's not a fun times, mood episode. However, I do think it's important that we talk about this because I think we forget that 99.9% of people who are successful, it was because they failed. And because they had to try again and learn something new that created their success. Okay, so what I'm referring to personally, for me, when everything went south, it was more of an academic life situation. And I noticed some people that's like, okay, you're being dramatic, shut up. It was dramatic in it was very life-changing in my personal life. And so, here we go. I was getting ready to apply this year to medical school. It's something I've known I've wanted to do for a very long time. Probably 12 years now, at least, that I knew that I wanted to be a doctor. And so, I was going to apply this year. And there's so many things. If you're in pre-med world or a pre-health profession world, we have to take this entrance exam. It's 8 hours long. It's over everything we've learned in our bachelor's degree. There's shadowing hours and volunteer hours and clinical experience and research. And there's just a lot that goes into it. And I just had it ready. I had it tied in a bow. I had to take this test. And then I was going to apply this year. And it didn't happen. And I remember it was such a... And this is not me talking about it. It was a year ago. This just happened over winter break. And so it took me a little while to reframe that from a I failed standpoint to a no, what was this actually? And basically, there's a lot of classes that I had not taken yet that I still need to take. People take it without it, but clearly I'm not one of those people. I need to take those classes. And I was studying with a bunch of other things going on. And so I have a plan now to try again, but it was a failure in my eyes. And it took me a long time, I'm still dealing with it, to reframe it from, oh, that was a failure, to no, what was it actually? And so it was so funny because here's the thing. Whenever we go through difficult times in our life or we go through learning seasons or whatever, yes, the word's back, I'm sorry. When we go through difficult times, we forget what we just told someone who was walking through that path, right? I was talking with a family member and they were going through some things and they were having to, persevere and just keep going and not stop and not, take a failure as an answer. And I told them, I was like, listen, when, we think that success makes success. And here's the truth. Failures make success. A bunch of failures and getting back up and trying again and continuing and not taking a failure as an answer, that's what makes success. Not a bunch of successes lined up in a row. And we think that, we'll look at people and we'll be like, man, a business or, good grief, it doesn't matter what it is, academics or anything. And we think, man, they must be so successful and have so much success to get them where they are. And the truth is they failed a lot. But the reason why they're successful is they've picked back up and they've kept going. And so I literally told a family member that. And then 3 months, here it was. And so it really just rocked my world. Once again, I had a timeline planned out, like I talked about last week, and it didn't go my way. And so through that, the Lord has been teaching me several things. And first off, failure, it can teach you that you don't, shockingly, we don't have all the answers. Failure teaches you to trust in something that's bigger than yourself, and that's the Lord. He ultimately has the game plan. He ultimately has the roadmap of where he wants our lives, when he wants them, where he wants certain things to happen. And a lot of times it may feel like we think we know best, and in reality, He has our life planned out. Failure can also teach you to think outside the box. If you stop and think about the companies that have really changed the game in industries, they were founded because their owner or owners went through this life crisis and needed a solution for something and did something different that nobody else had done because they failed and had to get up and try again. And it teaches you that maybe we don't know the best way to do things. And so failing teaches you to think outside the box and try something new and challenge yourself. And that can be so hard when you do things in ways that aren't the common way to do things, but it works. You would have never thought to do that had you not failed before. And your results are probably going to be better the second time around because you're trying something different and you're thinking outside the box. Failure can also teach you to collaborate with other people. We don't know. We can be so inward focused and so focused on the goal and the end goal and the end objective that we're not even thinking okay, is there anybody that I could talk to, that I could learn from, that I could glean from, that I could work with, that I could come alongside and I help them, they help me. We don't think about those things when we're just in the middle of it, right? Our head down, we're just, getting at it. We don't even think to reach out to other people. And failure can teach you hey, why don't I reach out? Why don't I collaborate? Failure can also teach you to overcome your obstacles and climb your mountains. And how are you ever going to know that you have that potential and you have the capability to do hard things if you're never faced with something hard? If you never have to get up and try again, how are you ever going to know that you can do it? And another thing is that God has been teaching me in this particular season of a failure and then trying to regain strength per se, is that when we are weak, He is strong, right? And now here's the thing. I like to be strong. Yes, in working out. I love to work out. But not just in that. I'm talking mentally, emotionally, physically. I like to be strong. I like to get things done. I like to have a plan. I just do. However, if He is strong when I am weak, what am I not, what am I not able to do? What am I settling for because I'm relying on my own strength, right? What are we saying this is so awesome because we're doing it, but yet what if we were weak and He was strong? What would we see, right? What more could we see and what more could we accomplish if we quit running the rat race of achieve, and realized, okay, if I'm not strong enough, that's okay, because He is, right? He's strong when we're weak. And what if the greatest thing we ever accomplish is realizing that the failure taught us that it's okay to be weak because He's strong, and we'll see probably the greatest thing that we've ever seen and the greatest accomplishment we've ever seen whenever we realize and we learn to rest in His strength and not in our own. And so through this whole process, it has been a journey that I'm still on to reframe that from this was a failure, to what did I learn and what am I going to do different next time? Because there's not a plan B in sight for me. There's not a okay, that didn't work, so what are we going to do instead? No. Failure is saying, okay, this didn't work out, so what are we going to do instead? We're going to tweak the plan. We're going to change the plan. We're going to pray, and then we're going to execute. God will give you the strength to execute that. But the most important thing that you can do out of a failure is to pick yourself back up and to keep going, learn from your mistakes, and the second time around, it's going to be so much better. The third time around, right? The saying third time's the charm. Really, however many times it takes. If God's called you to something, if you feel like God's opened a door for you, walk through it, and He will give you the strength. Don't rely on your own strength. He will give you the strength, and He'll turn that failure into something good for you. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Feel free to share this with anyone who has been walking through something tough lately, and just share this with them to encourage them that A, we're all not alone, and B, there's a purpose in our failures. And though it may not seem like there's a purpose in them, there definitely is. So thank you all so much for watching. Feel free to subscribe and like this video, and I will see you all next week. Bye.